Electrokinetic effect. Colloid particles carry an electric charge. When their soles are placed in the electric field, certain special effects are noticed, which are termed as electrokinetic effects. Such effects involve the relationship between the movement of one phase with respect to another in the exhibition of some electrical properties. Such effects are following types. First one, electrophoresis. The sole particles carry a charge either positive or negative. It was first observed by Linder and Picton and is used to indicate the migration of colloidal particles in an electric field. When the particles move towards the cathode, the phenomena of migration of particles is known as cataphoresis, and the migration towards the anode is known as anaphoresis. But in practice, a more general, the term electrophoresis is used. So, electrophoresis is defined as the movement of colloidal particles towards oppositely charged electrode under the influence of electric field. This is the electrophoresis instrument. Electrophoresis can be studied by the simple apparatus, which consists of U-tube fitted with a funnel shaped reservoir and stopcock. A small amount of water is placed in a U-tube and then some quantity of sole is taken so as to form a layer under the pure dispersion medium. The stopcock is slightly open and the reservoir is gradually raised to introduce the sole in U-tube gently. The water is displaced upwards, producing sharp boundary. An electric current is then applied by connecting the two electrodes dipped in a solution. It will be seen that the colloid particles move to the oppositely charged electrode, and on reaching that electrode, they get discharged. As soon as the charge of the particle is neutralized, they aggregate and settle down. If the sole is colored, then the movement of the particles can be observed directly by naked eyes. But if the sole is not colored, then the electrophoretic migration can be observed by the microscope. When the particles are negatively charged, the boundary on cathode side is seen to move down, and that in anode side to move up, showing that particles move towards the anode. If the particles are positively charged, they move towards the cathode. Thus, the charge of the particle can be detected. Application of electrophoresis in determining the charge. The nature of the charge on the colloidal particle can be shown by its migration in an electric field. In electrodeposition of rubber, the latex obtained from the sap of the certain trees is an emulsion of negatively charged rubber particles dispersed in water. This can be deposited on any substance which is made the anode. That means electroplating of rubber on metal surface. In the removal of colloidal smoke from outgoing gases. The removal of negatively charged carbon particles from smoke can be done by passing the smoke between positively charged metal electrodes. The principle has been utilized in the construction of Cottrell precipitator. Electrophoresis has proved to be of great importance in medicine, industry, etc. For example, in characterizing proteins causing diseases as well as in the isolation of enzyme. Flavin enzyme was similarly isolated from yeast with the help of electrophoresis. Painting of metal parts of car from colloidal pigments. Electrophoresis used for analysis of steroids, terpenoids and antibiotics. Second one, electroosmosis. Electroosmosis, also known as electroendosmosis, was discovered by Rouse but was investigated by Weidmann and Quincke. Electroosmosis defined as the movement of liquid with respect to solid through membrane as a result of an electric field. So this is an schematic diagram for electroosmosis. The colloidal system is put in a central chamber A, which is separated from the side chambers B and C, filled with water by the dialysing membranes M and M'. The water in the chambers B and C extends to the side tube T and T' respective, and electrodes placed in these compartments. The membrane does not allow the colloidal particles to pass through it. So, when a potential difference is applied across the electrodes held close to the membranes in the chambers B and C, the water starts to move. If the particles carry negative charge, the water will carry positive charge. So, it would start moving towards the cathode. And so the level of water inside tube T' would be observed to rise. If on the contrary, the particles carry positive charge, the water will carry a negative charge. The level of water will now start moving towards the anode, and its level in the side tube T would start rising. Next one, application of electroosmosis. In the preparation of pure colloids, in the tanning of hides and impregnation of similar materials, in the manufacture of gelatin for photographic emulsions. The object is to get a gelatin free from fat, mineral and reducing constituent. The phenomena is also applied in the manufacture of high-grade glue. In the dyeing of peat, dewatering of moist clay and in the drying dye pastes. These are the applications of electroosmosis. Third one, electrodialysis. It is a process of removing a dissolved substance from a colloidal solution by means of diffusion through a suitable membrane and increasing the rate of dialysis under the influence of an electric field is called electrodialysis. The vessel in which dialysis is carried out is known as dialyzer. A dialyzer consists of a special type of vessel open at both the ends. To the lower end of a membrane is stretched. This membrane allows only the solvent and other molecules to pass through it, but it is impermeable to the colloidal particles. The dialyzer is then suspended in a large vessel containing pure distilled water. The distilled water is periodically renewed by allowing water to flow into the outer larger vessels and removing it by means of a siphon. The outer vessel is fitted with two electrodes. The application of the electric field allows the passage of solution of ions towards the oppositely charged electrodes and diffuses through membrane. Thus, pure colloid is retained in the membrane and crystalloids impurities are removed. Electrodialysis is not a mean for the removal of non-electrolytic impurities like sugar, urea, etc. Application of electrodialysis. It is used in recovery of nickel and copper from electroplating rinse water. Electrodialysis used in stabilization of wine by reducing potassium tartarate. Separation of salt, bases and acids from organic compounds. It helps to remove nitrate from drinking water. It recovers the electrolytes like sodium chloride from seawater, amino acid from protein hydrolysates. Next one, surfactants or surface active agents. Substances that drastically lower the surface tension of water even at low concentration are called surface active compounds or surfactants. Surfactant is a composed of non-polar hydrophobic portion and polar hydrophilic portion. Therefore, surfactants are amphiphilic in nature, wherein the hydrophilic group point towards the aqueous phase while the hydrocarbon chain point towards the air or towards the oil phase. For example, soap and synthetic detergent are the example for surfactants. Classification of surfactants. First one, anionic surfactants. Anionic surfactants are those which dissociate in water to give negatively charged ions. For example, sodium salts of higher fatty acids such as sodium palmitate, sodium oleate, sodium stearate, sodium dodecyl sulfate are anionic surfactants. Uses. It is used in cleaning formulations such as shampoo, toothpaste, hand wash, bath gel soap, etc. Second one, cationic surfactants. Cationic surfactants are those which dissociate in water to give positively charged ions. For example, octadecyl ammonium chloride, cetyl trimethyl ammonium chloride. Uses. It is used in lubrication, corrosion inhibition, softening, etc. Third one, non-ionic surfactants. Non-ionic surfactants are those whose molecules cannot undergo dissociation and are uncharged. When an alcohol having a high molecular mass reacts with several molecules of ethylene oxide, a non-ionic surfactant is formed. For example, long chain ethers, fatty acid esters, etc. Uses. It is used as a wetting and cleaning agents. Fourth one, amphoteric or Zwitter ionic surfactants. Surfactants are those which dissociate in water to give positively and negatively charged ions. For example, long chain amino acid salts, betadines, etc. Uses. It is used in hair shampoo, liquid soap, etc. Solubilization of surfactant solutions. It is a process of preparation of thermodynamically stable isotropic solution of substance, is normally insoluble or slightly soluble in given solvent by addition of components. Steps involved in solubilization. Breaking of interionic or intermolecular bonds in the solute. Separation of solvent molecule to provide space for the solute. Interaction between solute and solvent ions or molecule. These are the steps involved in solubilization process. Solubilization increased by surfactants, which are absorption enhancers and which enhance both the dissolution rate and permeability of substances. Solubility is very low until surfactant concentration reaches the critical micellar concentration. Solubility is increases linearly with concentration of surfactant, indicating solubilization is related to micellization. Last part, application of solubilization. Solubilization of orally administered drug results in improved appearance and unpleasant taste. Liquid preparation with small quantity of preservative can be prepared. The solubilization of phenolic compounds such as cresol, chlorocresol and thymol with soap to form a clear solutions for used in disinfection. Solubilized solutions of iodine in non-ionic surfactant micelles used in instrument sterilization. I hope everyone understood the micelles unit completely.